The Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you for tuning in. The Urban Debate kicks off a mega campaign to make our cities safe for women tonight. Because as women, we are 50% stakeholders as citizens of our cities, and it is our right to demand equal treatment and to demand safety in our cities because they are our homes. Before we get to that discussion, let's take a look at the headlines at this hour. Citizens unite against Bangalore's demolition drive. Over 500 citizens will assemble at the town hall this Saturday to agitate against the civic body BBMP's drive that has left several families without a roof. Cheer for citizens of Pune. The city is all set to adopt a pedestrian-friendly development plan. The city will flaunt wider footpaths and skywalks soon. On to our discussion this evening. Every 2 minutes, India reports a crime against a woman. Incidents of crime like rape, abduction, molestation, eve-teasing have doubled over the last 10 years. These alarming numbers are from an Indiaspend analysis of data coming in from the National Crime Records Bureau. In fact, a majority of the reported crimes have been committed by close family members, either a husband or relatives. Clearly, there's no place safe anymore. And if you're wondering why I'm telling you this tonight, it's because as women, as citizens, it is your right to be safe and to be secure in your city. It is a right that I'm going to demand on behalf of you. We're going to make this our campaign on this channel. If we're going to take up urban issues, if we're going to take up urban debates, then this is the one we're going to take up first and foremost. Which is why today we're going to kick up a campaign to make our cities safer for women. First, we decided to do a simple ground check. We sent our reporters out to ask women in all of our cities whether or not they feel safe. Of course, we had to start with Delhi. Deepa Rana went out and spoke to women in Delhi.
Women's safety has become one of the major concerns when it comes to the national capital. I'm standing on the Dhaulakua-Mahipalpur stretch. This is one of the most important roads when it comes to the national capital, as it is an intersection and interchange point to various places. It is attached to Dwarka as well as Sona and Manesar. This road also leads to Noida as well as to the airport and South Delhi areas as well. Now, in fact, a lot of people are traveling. There's a fast-moving traffic over here. But as you see, there are no auto rickshaws as well as buses plying on this road, which leads to very little options for a woman to travel in case if she's not having her own personal conveyance. In fact, this road also lacks any sort of police patrolling or any sort of security apparatus in place, even though this particular road has been witness to various assault cases in the past as well. I would ask my camera person to pan a bit over here. As you see, there are lights over here, but there is no lights over here. There are no CCTV footage or cameras which were promised by the Arvind Kejriwal government. In fact, though we have been asking a lot of women over here how safe are they feeling in the national capital, but it remains to be seen whether the authorities are going to take any action or not on ground. As promised by the Arvind Kejriwal government, there are no cameras at all. There are no auto rickshaws over here. And in fact, even if you talk about the center and the police, there is no police on this road. There are not even patrolling vans on this road. And there are not even a police station nearby where you can go and complain in moments of distress. This is Deepa Rana reporting for Magicbricks Now in New Delhi.
According to the issues that has been hearing by people, I think sometimes, I do feel insecure.
For women, I think we ourselves can save ourselves. I don't think so we are dependent on cameras or anything. We are dependent on ourselves.
There's no security wise also, there is nothing which is increased. Whatever the Delhi government is saying, it's all, from my side, it's fake. They are just faking it out.
Well, I want to remind our viewers that the Aam Aadmi Party was voted into power in Delhi because they promised to make Delhi safe for women. Despite poll promises to have over 10,000 CCTVs in Delhi, there is no work that has been done in that area. We repeatedly got in touch with the Aam Aadmi Party and with the Delhi government and invited them to be part of this conversation. They have declined to even talk about the issue. Let's also take a look at Bangalore and find out if women in Bangalore feel that they're safe.
There are a lot of things that comes in mind. I don't feel 100% safe, of course, but I really feel that compared to other cities, this city is really welcoming.
See, I've been staying here for almost a decade now, and I think it's a safe city.
People are also good.
Pretty safe for women, but there are sometimes I feel unsafe when there are just too many people around and people staring at you.
Women are very comfortable to travel and there is absolutely no problem. We have no fear of any kind for any lady to travel as far as it is, that they are in their own borders.
Well, the city of Mumbai has always enjoyed a reputation of being relatively safe for women. It doesn't come as a surprise that apart from a few stray incidents, citizens of Mumbai tend to feel safer than other metros. My colleague Trisha Shah sent us this report.
When we talk about the financial capital, Mumbai, women in this city told Magicbricks Now that they feel a lot more safer, compared to other metros like Delhi and Bengaluru for that matter. When we caught up with them, they in fact spoke in favor of the city and they tell us that a lot has been changed on the ground over the past 2 years when it comes to women's safety across the city. In fact, let's not forget that it was just 2 years ago that then Chief Minister Prithviraj Chauhan had, drafted certain recommendations and had asked the state government and BMC to implement all those recommendations on ground. In fact, when we spoke to the BMC officials, they tell us that not, full, not 100% has been implemented, but at least 40% of the recommendations has been implemented on ground when we talk about women's safety issues. For instance, having, a woman police constable at each and every ladies compartment post 9 p.m. is one that, the government has implemented. In fact, not only that, having a police constable present even at police station when any woman comes and, complains or files an FIR. And for even public toilets for that matter, women tell us that they are now better, improved than how it was 2 years ago. They tell us that 2 years ago there were broken windows, the toilets were not lit, but now this is not the case anymore. In fact, when we talk about the street lighting across the city, they tell us that now streets are better lit, and of course there are also CCTV cameras, installed in a few areas across the city. So, in fact,
well, safety concerns for women are a mega problem, and that's our focus on our debate tonight. We've put together a panel of experts, authorities responsible for making India safer for women. Join us on Twitter. Express your view. The big question we're asking on the urban debate tonight: do women feel safe in our cities? You can join us and you can vote and you can be part of our campaign to demand safer cities and find solutions for us as women citizens of urban India. Joining me on the show this evening, Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Abha Singh, lawyer and activist, Naveen Chomal Advocate, who joins me in the Mumbai studio, Trisha, Shetty, lawyer and the founder of SheSays, the NGO, Ranjana Kumari, Director of Centre for Science and Research, Enaakshi Kotwal, bringing in the citizen point of view, Kumar Jahagirdar, the founder and president of CRISP, the NGO in Bangalore, and Rahul, Easwar, who is an author and an activist, joining us from Trivandrum. I want to thank all of you for coming in. Abha Singh, I will start with you. We're looking at statistics that tell us that the number of crimes being reported against women have doubled in the last decade. The data that I'm looking at from the National Crimes Record Bureau says 2.24 million crimes against women have been reported in this country. Somehow, despite promises, none of our governments have managed to solve the problem or even make one step towards solving that problem.
Exactly. Not only has the crime doubled, but let me tell you that more than 8 lakh cases in crime against women, charge sheets have not been filed. So this shows the apathy of the police, apathy of the political class, who is not at all worried about the safety of the women in this country where a rape takes place every hour. So it clearly shows that the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2013 has been unable to protect women. In fact, crime increased after we gave death penalty and we brought stringent measures. This clearly shows that the judiciary, the prosecution and the police have failed to protect the women. If we go by Delhi, Delhi has more than 6,000 kidnappings and abductions every year, whereas Mumbai has only 549. So this shows that if the policing is good, you can definitely control crime. But places like Delhi have become rape capital. Places like Delhi, the cases are not worked out, and that is the reason that women are finding insecurity. You had the Bulandshahr rape case where mother and daughter were raped through the night on a national highway, and this is because the conviction rate is very poor. In rape cases, conviction is just 29%, which means that out of 100 rapists, 70 go scot-free, and that because the police weakens the charge sheet, it doesn't collect evidences. The cases are so long, they are tried for such a long time that since there is no witness protection, the victims, they take back the cases, or by the time the case comes for trial, they are of a marriageable age. And so all these are issues that have led to poor prosecution, poor investigation. Corruption, of course, is a major role. And
we're talking about cases that are reported. We're not even...
People talk of women empowerment, but women have never been a vote bank.
We're talking about cases that are reported here. We're not even mentioning the ones that don't go reported year after year. And Abha Singh, the numbers that I'm looking at right now from our sources tell us a woman in India is raped every 22 minutes. It's a lot worse than any of us even realize. Vikram Singh, is it the lack of policing, especially around the Delhi NCR region? We constantly hear stories about the fact, like Abha Singh was just telling us, evidence not being collected, apathy from the police, the fact that women are sometimes nervous to actually approach the police. Why is it that the police force in northern India has completely failed its women citizens?
Let us please understand that it is an administrative tragedy of the worst kind. You have bad investigation, worse prosecution, leading to en masse acquittals. What you are referring to and studying are the reported cases, but this represents, I can tell you from personal experience, that this is a very small aspect of the actual cases happening. The real situation would be at least 10 times more than what you and I are discussing just now. About politicians, the less said the better. Promise is not performance. Now, if we were to understand that the investigation, the police sensitivity, the training, the process of having fast-track courts, nothing seems to have happened after the Nirbhaya case. The 13th Criminal Law Amendment Act is a wonderful statute, but if we do not choose to implement it or be selective in its implementation, I would pose a question to you. There is a provision that if a person, if in the police does not register a case when it is reported, especially pertaining to women, then a case has to be registered against him. Tell me, I know of just one case in UP and none in the country where a case has been registered against the delinquent police officials. This speaks volumes about the apathy and the subculture of masculinity in the police that prevails, that we treat these crimes as some kind of a second-grade crime that would be taken up only after things like VIP security and other crimes.
Well, Trisha, Shetty, I want to bring you in here. You work with an NGO that helps women. What are the experiences you've come across so far? Where does the problem lie, according to you? Is it just the mindset across our cities? Is it the law and order system? Is it the fact that women are just too afraid to come out and speak?
The problem stretches across multiple dimensions. I mean, we constantly talk about Delhi being a rape capital. We forget that Maharashtra consistently ranks among the top 5 states when it comes to crimes against women. Maharashtra ranks in the 4th category when it comes to reported cases of rape. And you are right, underreporting is a huge problem. Every day, 101 women are reporting rape in India. 225 are reporting outraging modesty. But only 25 are reporting intent to insult modesty of women, which colloquially we call eve teasing. That in itself goes to show you the alarming rate of underreporting that we do have. A few months ago, a 3-year-old got raped in Bombay. She went to a government hospital. Sion Hospital didn't admit her because they said that she doesn't have a FIR filed. And by law, no hospital is allowed to deny admission to a rape survivor on the basis of FIR not being filed. So, you know, she was not admitted inside. The family refused to file an FIR because the rapist was an uncle. She was then taken to another hospital where even there was a huge problem getting admission. And this is a 3-year-old we're talking about. So imagine the state of apathy that stretches across all spheres. And the problem is women do not know their rights. Very often we have cases of women go to police stations and police refuses to file an FIR, citing lack of jurisdiction. Even this 3-year-old case who was, 3-year-old victim who was not admitted. So the problem stretches across police, across complete apathy that you see in government hospitals, even though the law mandates that private hospitals are supposed to take in rape survivors. Open the newspapers. till date, there must be one or so cases that have gone to a private hospital. Most rape cases are categorically directed to a government hospital. Private hospitals don't take rape survivors in. So how can you talk about holistic, kind of approach that in terms of rehabilitation for rape survivors if we have systematic oppression that women are dealing with across all spheres?
Ranjana Kumari, I want to point out that this is a very important point that Trisha has just made, that women don't know their rights. When we talk about, modesty, crimes against the modesty of women, when we talk about, we don't come out and talk about the fact that we're addressing eve teasing, we're addressing groping on the street, in the train stations, in the buses. This is something that all of us have faced as women. We need to come out and tell other women that this is a crime, that you can, in fact, go out and file a complaint, that you can demand that the police take action. It's about us not knowing our rights and, more importantly, about us not talking about it.
Well, I think since you're talking about the safety in the city, and also there is a lot of talk about smart cities, and we have all caught up with this whole idea of smart city, and since you have a very large panel, let me just put 3 points forward to you, because we have done extensive research about the problem in the infrastructure of the city. The safety infrastructure is missing, there is no safety plan in place, and also it's not just the on the road and all the problem that you're talking about we are dealing with on daily basis, and also all the difficulties that law enforcement, justice delivery system that we are facing is already there. We are confronting all that. But when we are looking at futuristic, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Bangalore are not the only cities. We are talking about the middle level cities, we are talking about the smaller cities, and of course kasbas and the villages. So if we look at the whole country, and we are trying to create so many cities, but then where is the plan for safety? Because there are going to be women on the roads, women are going to push themselves into workplaces, there is going to be higher level of mobility of women, and women are not going to sit at home and worry about what is going to happen to me in the bus or in the so, but where is the plan? Who is really delivering the promise? You just showed us the Delhi government's failure, complete failure in delivering the promise. And let me tell you, even the central government, because women voted in large numbers to bring this government in place in central government, because there was promise of safety and security after Nirbhaya. That has become a political agenda. Every party promises, but we would like to know what a safe city, a smart city means to people and citizens. The question that you raised in the beginning of your when you were introducing the program. So where is the safety plan? Where are the safety infrastructures? What kind of a vision do we have where we are looking at the neighborhood communities? Where is the interaction between the police and the neighborhood? What kind of a response system are we looking at from the police? We had sent a group of police officers to Munich under a project where they witnessed 7 minutes arrival of a police after a button is pressed. Within 7 minutes, everything, a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, a social worker, everybody arrives on the spot, and there are centers where these women are taken, and every aspect, what has happened to them.
Did they learn anything from that?
They need medical services, whatever is all available there. We talked about 1 minute. No, listen to me. And also we talked about one-stop crisis intervention centers, which will be available in every nook and corner of the country, every city where these women can get all these services delivered. So when you are planning a city, when you are planning infrastructure of the city, no marks on the road properly, there are no directions, there are no lighting on the street. So I do not know, I can count 100 things, because we have done very deep research onto this issue. I can talk about 100 things that we need to look into before we talk about safety of the city. And one more last point is about the online safety. The whole cyber space where women are getting threatened, and not only that they are getting threatened on the cyber space, in fact physically then they get that threat in terms of when they are going out of the house anywhere, when people are really connecting that and following them. What kind of a really, we are opening with net connectivity, what kind of a safety online women will be getting?
Fair enough.
It's all comprehensive. There has to be a vision. I don't see that vision.
There is no vision. I want to reiterate this for the benefit of our audience. Our politicians, let's be honest about this, our politicians who've used our safety as a pawn to win elections repeatedly, over and over again, have done nothing for us. None of them have. The Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi promised 10,000 CCTV cameras, none of which are in place. We had a reporter just tell us how unsafe she thought Delhi was, somebody who works in Delhi. They promised a special safety cell for women as part of their election. That is not in place either. The Maharashtra government of Devendra Fadnavis right now promised us a cyber security force. That's not in.
It's in the process.
It's in process. Okay, that's very good that it's in process, but they've been in power for nearly 2.5 years. It should have been done by now. They promised over 10,000 CCTV cameras. That's not in either. They promised a special women's safety cell. That's not in either. They keep telling us it's in the works. They keep telling us that it's work in progress. It's just not good enough. I want anybody on the panel to give me one good experience you've had with a government in force right now that is actually positive about for safety for women, that's actually doing something on safety for women. Rahul, Easwar.
See, of course, everybody will agree that more needs to be done. Like cities should have eyes, we should have CCTV cameras, but we should also look at the positive side. Maybe for the first time, a PM in the Red Fort said, we have to have a perspective change. We have to start with the boys. You have to take care of the ethical education for the boys. Rather than chaining the women, we need guys to be gender sensitive, ethically sensitive.
Has the education HRD department included anything in education for young boys that changes the way they're being educated? Rahul Easwar making a statement on an Independence Day. While I accept that statement wholeheartedly as a citizen of this country, let's talk about actual work on the ground. Has there been a change in the syllabus of schools to include any sort of mindset change for young boys from the HRD department, from the ministry?
No.
There hasn't.
There's no sex ed either.
From my understanding, HRD department has initiated the process.
No,
of course, the government process
you
may
ask
take more of the
questions,
time.
we'll tell you
that
no,
we intend
because
to
it's
India,
not there.
everything is snail slow.
No,
we have Indian stretchable time.
There's been
but
no
having
such
said that,
thing.
the policy
There's
change
no
is
such
there.
thing. Don't give me statements.
The policy paradigm change is
a
there.
statement, while might have come from the right place, it makes no difference whatsoever to us on the ground unless there's some actual work happening. Other than that statement, can you give me an example of any government in this country that has done anything for the safety of women across political lines? The silence on the panel right now.
Well, don't you think that's a bit extreme
women are
statement? Every
safe in their
government
own
beyond
political
parties.
parties. Women are not safe in their own political parties, in their own political party offices.
Okay, let me talk to a citizen. Enaakshi is in the studio with me as a citizen who lives in Mumbai. Enaakshi, from the people that we spoke to, we discovered that women in Mumbai feel relatively safer than women across the country.
Yes.
Tell me what you feel like when you go out every day to work, when you come home past 9 o'clock, past 10 o'clock, we take public transport, when you travel to other cities, which I'm sure you do for work.
Yes.
What does that make you feel like?
I agree that Mumbai is much more safer than a Delhi or any other state. But yes, you still feel unsafe in Mumbai late in night. If you are taking a train, yes, there is police, which I really appreciate. But once you're on the station or you're walking, people tease you and go. You cannot take a rickshaw or an Uber and get back safe at home. There is harassment at every level, and I think that is very deeply psychologically rooted. And there is harassment in office, there is harassment if you're doing a project, there is harassment. You don't know where you're going to face sexual harassment. And I think, so you don't completely feel safe and secure. I'll say you don't feel secure when you're at home because there are workers working outside who can knock on your door. So you have to be vigilant every single time. I'm saying today I'm safe is because I'm very careful of my surroundings. I'm very careful of whom I interact, whom I talk to, whom I give out my number to. So I have to be very vigilant. Otherwise, you don't feel safe. You don't feel completely safe. You have to be very careful. And I think it's psychologically rooted because we treat women as objects. We don't think that we need to respect them. And it is because we all have been brought up in this way that ये लड़की है, ये लड़का है, लड़की तो homemaker होती है, लड़का को ये role करना है. That is why there is this differentiation, and this is very deep rooted, and we cannot change this instantly. What we have to do is first we have to educate women. We have to tell women to open up. We are always made to feel guilty that if something happens to me, maybe I was wrong, or I should not report because I must have done something, so that's why he made a pass at me. No, I have to be careful. We understand that, but we need to change the psychology at a deeper level. If we see working women as fast, or if we see like, oh, she's independent, so she can be, that's a mindset. Children are being raped today, children are being molested. What kind of a mindset is that? That completely say that our upbringing, our psychological mindset is completely not right. So that needs to be fixed, and that will take a very long time to change. So in that case, what do? We educate women to protect themselves, self-defense. We should be talking openly about sexual issues in school. A girl child of 5 should be taught how to protect herself, that tomorrow her uncle can molest her. So we need to educate, we need to bring change here, because when women can protect themselves, when they can open up, when they can talk about sexual abuse, then we'll be able to protect ourselves more. Otherwise, we are just always made to feel guilty about it.
Always made to feel guilty. Naveen Chomal.
Please come here.
Yeah.
See, the issue is very important, and there cannot be just one simple solution to it or one way of looking at it. But I'll take up the issue from where Rahul Easwar has been saying, that we need to have a very strong proper upbringing of the boys right from the childhood.
Even girls.
Yes, definitely, well taken. See, what Rahul has been saying, I also agree with it fully, and we were discussing that we have also been canvassing that boys from the young age should be imbibed with the idea of Purusharth, that they are supposed to respect women, take care of the woman, not hit women, not demand dowry, and become the protector.
It is masculinity.
So that particular upbringing should be there in our education system and also in a family everywhere. So what happens is ultimately
boys should be told that they are criminals.
Yeah,
if they do this, that it is a crime.
And women should know
that it is a crime.
You cannot have a negative propaganda in the society.
If you hit a woman, it is a crime.
Yes, of course.
If you bother a woman, if you eve tease a woman, if you grope a woman, it is a crime. That is what we should be teaching them.
Articulating in proper words, boys should be basically given the
honestly, politeness gets you
role model of being a hero or protector of a woman.
Nobody wants boys to protect us. Let me make this very clear. I don't need a man to protect us.
We don't want
boys should be given the
listen to me. That's what I was going to say. When he said Purusharth, can I say something here for a second?
Apart from the crimes which we are talking about just now in the channel,
I know
there are many more crimes. Domestic
propagate.
violence is a very big crime.
They want boys to be protecting girls. We don't think we need protectors. What we need is the people who respect women.
Madam, you are unnecessarily debating the topic. Here we are supporting the cause of the woman and giving a total respect. Unnecessarily you are debating the topic.
The other person as an equal citizen of this country.
Abha Singh,
you are not equal
do we need to teach boys
protectors and
to protect us?
Problems.
Come on, you are diverting the entire issue.
I think Purusharth is
what
the
I have
wrong
been trying to say is
concept.
on a very good faith and
unacceptable, and we have
it
to
is so
reject that
condescending in its
completely.
tone.
You are
No,
totally
nothing of that
wrong
sort.
in propagating
We are
what
very
you are
clear
propagating at the
that
moment.
right from the childhood, the upbringing should be very clear to the boys.
Naveen
that
Chomal, listen to
ultimately
me.
if they want to be a hero in life, they should be protected the woman, they should respect the
Naveen
woman.
Chomal,
You are forgetting what I said.
We reject your protection. Naveen Chomal, we reject your protection.
Just because boys are taught to be respecting women, does it mean that women are becoming a lesser?
Grateful for it's an intrinsic quality that men should be taught. You forget that the onus of safety. 1 second. You forget that the onus of safety is perpetually lying on women.
But what are they protecting us
conversation
against? Can you please ask him a question? Can you ask him a question?
You ask me a question, madam. You ask me a question.
Who is he teaching boys to protect us against? Who are you protecting us against?
Ultimately the boys only who are going to commit crime on women. So if the boy is given
what kind of protection are you teaching them?
See, ma'am, there will always be
what sort of mindset are you laughing at you, madam?
Make every person good in the world.
Sorry, everyone seems to be objecting to what you're saying.
Protection.
See, you cannot make every person good in the world.
Towards women and you are
only making
respect is owed to us. It's not something that you give us.
Okay, hang on. One at a time. Naveen Chomal.
I got experience to share. We got a lot of concern for the women.
Naveen Chomal, let me just explain to you what the women are saying.
Everything. This is not proper, madam.
Naveen Chomal, let me just explain to you what the women on this panel are saying. let me
just
no,
because
listen,
I say
hear me out.
that boys should be taught to respect women, they should be taught here to protect women. Doesn't mean women are inferior to men.
I'm taking
Come
your
on,
point.
this is total misinterpretation.
Okay.
Faye, as an anchor, I expected you at least suppress all these things.
I'm asking you to listen to me. I'm asking you to listen to me.
Men and boys are not evil, so why should we be protected against whom?
If women and men are equal, then we don't need to protect each other. We need to coexist calmly.
Exactly.
I want to bring in Kumar.
My sentence by saying that boys should be taught to respect women.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Kumar Jahagirdar.
Is there anything wrong?
The woman in this country. Hello, can I talk, please?
Please,
hello,
Kumar,
hello.
go ahead. Kumar, go ahead.
See, the women in this country are very safe. Just now I did research. India is one of the safest places for women to live. Okay, this entire debate is going one-sided. If there is a problem, the problem is with certain segments of people who are...
I don't know which research you're talking about.
Can you call a man to source of your research?
Please allow me to talk.
I really don't...
Madam, I got many examples of women.
Let's go one at a time. Let's go one at a time. Kumar Jahagirdar,
the
please
protection
give
should be for the men because the men are committing more suicides. The boys are outnumbering the girls in the child abuse cases. According to the government own statistics, 53% of the child abuse is against boy children, and everybody is talking about the girl children. And what about the suicide rates? 1,20,000 men have committed suicide last year. Vis-a-vis 60,000 women. So all these men, nobody is even bothered. 82% of the income tax is paid by the men in this country. There is no ministry for the men. Okay, and there is a ministry for animals. What is this going on in the debate as though men are marginalized? Men are not like that. Men are also
Okay, nobody can understand what anybody else is saying. We have to stop
the
for a second.
50% of the population. Why do you people always got a fashion to condemn men? Don't do that.
Okay, Kumar, I've taken your point. I want the rest of the panelists to respond to it. Kumar, one second. Naveen, 1 second. I want a moment's silence so that I can get everybody to understand what's going on here. Kumar, just 1 second.
80% or more dowry cases are false cases. 82% of the rape cases are false cases. And what have you done about
80% of the rape cases are false cases? How dare you? How dare you? Come on. How dare you?
Is there a commission to...
On what basis are you making these allegations?
To first verify
on what basis are you making these allegations? On what basis are you making these allegations?
Let him verify the facts and please conduct the discussion. Your original topic was says
on what basis are you making these
Madam, you only deviated from the issue.
Abha Singh, I want to bring Abha Singh in here. Abha Singh, these comments are galling and appalling to suggest that 80% of the rape cases complaints are false. Yes. To suggest in some way that when we ask for safety for women, that we don't want safety for men. To suggest in some way that we need to be protected by the men around us because that makes us unequal citizens and less than we really are. These are the kind of comments that make us, that break us, that disallow us from being equal citizens of this country. It's appalling.
No, we are equal. You want more than equal. That's the problem. How many laws are there to protect the men?
Let Abha Singh respond, please.
The Domestic Violence Act is for,
any physical relationship. Can he keep quiet so Abha can reply?
Of marriage is rape.
I want to hear what Abha Singh is saying.
That is the reason that 50 to 60% of the rape cases, the victim knows the rapist. So it is high time when death penalty is prescribed for rape, then the definition of rape should also be amended because consensual relationship should not be treated as rape. That part, of course, I am ready to listen into and the lawmakers need to look into. But as that young lady said that Sion Hospital refused to admit the girl, let me tell her under the after Nirbhaya case, under the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013, Section 166A of 166B of the IPC was added, which said that any hospital which refuses to provide medical facilities to a rape victim, there is imprisonment up to 2 years. So what is lacking is accountability. See, voluntary mindset and all will come in a long way. What is urgent requirement is a roadmap for safety of the women. There are laws need to be implemented, convictions need to be 100%, the trial should be limited, fast track courts were promised, but where are the fast track courts? The purpose is defeated because there is so much vacancy in the judiciary.
And along with one more thing,
not argue over this, we need to have a roadmap for safety, and that is what is important. important. We cannot wait for crime to happen and only lament on mindset. Mindset is important, but the police is accountable. Law and order is a state subject. Let the government come forward and make the women safe. That is the big issue.
No.
Vikram Singh, it's coming back to the police one more time, and I'm so glad you're here.
Nobody is denying these points.
Because the state of Uttar Pradesh has the worst track record when it comes to crime against women. The worst track record from the police, from the law and order system, and from the citizens. Where do we start fixing the problem? If Abha Singh has suggested quite rightly that we start with the law and order machinery, how do we fix this problem?
Obviously, Abhaji is dot on the mark. The biggest deterrent is prompt punishment to the delinquents and those accused of this horrific crimes. But if you have leaders who say boys will be boys and they have just erred, and once in a while, number two pearl of wisdom, that which one of us in his teenage has not stalked his girlfriend. Pearl of wisdom number three, that all of us have had our love lives. If this is the signal, the horrible signal that you are giving to the youth of the state, what do you expect the police to do? The police would be even more lecherous than the person who is uttering these pearls of wisdom. To be, you have to be absolutely upright and abide by the rule of law. Ensure that you come down like a ton of bricks on those who perpetrate this crime, those who support it, those indulging in pornography and spreading pornography, and those who are delinquents. Lofty ideals and lowly conduct do not and cannot go hand in hand.
Very true.
I don't know what pearl of wisdom, what imagination gives me the idea that India is the safest country for women, where women are subjected to brutality even before they are born and even after that. Please, sir, we have listened to you very patiently. Now, women of 86 years old, 90 years old, even after the death, dug out of the graves and subjected to brutal rapes. Is this the safety we are talking about? The police had better put their act together, know what sensitivity is all about, give up their cult of masculinity and be extremely professional. As Madam Ranjana Kumari ji has said, that response time, which is possible, is 7 minutes in Munich, we jolly will ensure that it is less than 7 minutes here, and have zero tolerance to crime against women. And anybody, repeat, anyone in the police hierarchy too, I hope the signal is very clear, who takes a dim view or a lenient view towards such criminals.
Vikram Singh, is it possible, is a response time of 7 minutes possible in India?
Absolutely possible, and I have ensured it. You first have to have a change of heart and mindset. And if it is possible, it may be possible for you, sir. It is possibly doable, and I have seen to it that it is done. And if you want to see these success stories, there are any number of success stories. But you have to have an open mind to first get rid and get away. Do away with those who stand in the way of efficiency.
Even 1090, as UP says, is not responsive. The toll numbers which they have for women's security, even in the Bulandshahr case, the father kept calling up, but nobody turned up. Even for 100 control room, the poor father whose wife and daughter was being raped on the national highway, he kept dialing, but nobody turned up. So that is what. So where is it saying 7 minutes? It's all on paper. In reality, there is nothing. Mr. Vikram Singh, we have to be honest about it, that we have all these things, but on a highway, a mother and daughter are raped and no police turns up. So it is definitely, it's a big law and order issue.
This is a horrible crime.
Some heads
I do not condone anyone. I do not condone anyone. I agree that the situation is horrible and needs a generational improvement.
Like Mr. Singh rightfully said, I just want to share some data with our audience.
That the present setup
more efficient and accountable than the Delhi police. UP police is even worse. The Lucknow rape of the nurse was not even worked out.
To do its act together.
Case,
probably Abhaji did not listen to my earlier point.
Because the rapist belonged to a particular political party.
Together.
So when there is a political interference, the politicians insist that the criminals are not arrested. That is primarily the reason that crime in UP has gone out of hand, because all the criminals have political protection.
Crime in UP against women has increased 61% in the last 5 years. It was Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav who said boys will be boys. It was Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav who said boys will be boys. Crime in the last 5 years against women in the state of Uttar Pradesh has increased 61%. 1,012 rape cases were registered in Uttar Pradesh in the last 5 years. 5,587 rapists were arrested by the UP police in 2014 alone.
UP also ranks the highest in custodial rape and gang rape. And just a few days ago, you had Abha Singh threatening to quit. But he didn't threaten to quit when Azam Khan made deplorable remarks. So you can see their priorities on display. At that point, he said he has a ear infection. He couldn't hear what Azam Khan said. But a few days ago, when he was sufficiently offended, he threatened to quit his party. So none of these politicians take accountability. I mean, UP, we can't even talk about highest number of custodial and gang rape. That goes to show you where women stand. And the reality is women are not a vote bank, right? So people never take us seriously. And the second a woman talks, she's suppressed and she's bullied into silence.
It's not exactly, but see
well,
what
it is because of Mulayam Singh Yadav. Can I say something here?
Go ahead, Ranjana.
Can I just say something here?
Go ahead,
I think, it's not only that he helped in creating, it's not only that Mulayam Singh Yadav helped in creating rape culture, and his son who's ruling the state is completely failed. Law and order machinery is broken completely. It's a jungle raj. But at the same time, it is the same Mulayam Singh Yadav who did not allow women reservation bill to be passed. So politically, women should not have any say, he ensured. And it's been 17 years that the bill is pending in the parliament. So these are the politicians who are not only responsible for really undermining the authority, the power, the everything that could be handed over to women, and women can have their own voices. They can be confident about what is happening to their lives. They can create policies. They can force the parliament to stop if things are going wrong. They can ask for new laws, institutional mechanisms. They can ask for better training for the police. They can ask for police reform to be implemented. So many things. But then Mulayam Singh Yadav is the same man who did not allow women reservation bill to be passed. So women don't get the political power and power to change. So these are the men in politics. These are the people, and that is why you see the state of affairs in UP. I have not heard a single day when there is not a most gruesome brutality on women's bodies. Dalit women have been raped and burned to death in UP under the Raj of the Mulayam Singh and his son. So I think this is something which is extremely difficult situation. And we talk about safe city and smart city. Let us bring that vision to develop a smart city where such people, at least first thing is to really condemn such politicians, not allow them to be, be effective in these kind of systems where parliament is full of such men. What do? What kind of a change do you expect from these people? State assemblies are full of these men. There are state assemblies in this country where women are not represented even 2%. So, they've kept women purposely out of it, and women keep begging, asking, and then they become the protectors. We don't need protectors. We need partners. We need friends and we need equal citizenry. We are also citizen. Men and boys are also citizen. We are not saying that you respect our dignity, you give us the respect as an equal citizen. We are not even saying give us the respect. We demand the respect that we are equal citizen, and we are not willing to take any nonsense anymore.
Absolutely. We are owed respect as equal citizens. And let me tell you one thing. Women are not going to be silenced anymore. Women are not going to be silenced anymore.
There are domestic violence victims in this country where men have nowhere to go. The police is not even registering a case.
Nobody disagree.
How can a crime be gender specific? Don't think
nobody disagree with these points.
No. Constitution is guaranteeing gender neutral laws. Where is the gender neutral laws? There is a, sort of a prejudice against men.
How can you ask,
men are rapists? That's
Mr. Kumar, how can you ask for equality in a country where women are not represented in parliament? How can you ask for equality in a country where there is constantly crime
along
against
with
women?
gender neutral laws, we need gender sensitive laws.
To start a debate. You should always say that.
No, but there are so many brothers.
Yeah, nobody is against gender neutrality. But sir, one point.
Men are bad people.
Sir, one point.
How can you even talk like that?
No.
This is not fair.
The only
nobody is saying that, sir. Nobody is saying that. See, nobody is.
The way Madam Ranjana Kumari is telling is that
we need gender sensitive approach.
The state government is promoting rape. Why will somebody promote rape? You know, the rape is something, a very bad thing which can happen.
Mr. Kumar, explain to me your comment of boys will be boys.
Boys outnumber girls.
Explain to me the comment of boys will be boys. How do you justify that?
When you don't arrest, when you don't investigate, when you don't deliver justice, then you are promoting rape. That's what you are doing. Can I tell you why and how state is promoting rape?
Mr. Kumar, your allegations are
Can I tell you why I am saying it?
Maneka Gandhi should be ashamed. She should resign. How can she talk
Kumar,
about?
I'm sorry, but your allegations are completely baseless.
Absolutely abhorrent remarks against women and rape. He should be ashamed for talking mindless things.
Rahul Easwar.
He should be ashamed for talking mindless things. Vikram Singh said that if you don't investigate, you don't punish.
See, give me 20 seconds, 2 quick points. There is no point in shouting. We have to just air our points in a very sensible way so that people can understand. We all accept the notions of gender equality and gender neutrality. But more important than gender equality and gender neutrality is gender diversity. The reality is gender sensitivity. More important than gender neutrality and gender equality is gender diversity and gender sensitivity. Even if you look at the statistics of nations like United States of America, there is proportionately more number of rapes. There is a gender diversity. We all concede the angle of gender equality. But we cannot overlook gender sensitivity and gender diversity. Psychologies are different. Biology is different. So we should be gender sensitive. We should accept gender diversity.
When we have an equal sex ratio in this country, then we can use words like diversity.
No, these are paradigms. These are templates.
I think as men, you need to stop getting offended by the fact that men are raping women and take onus. Sadly, the onus of safety is on us women.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take a very quick break. I'll take a very quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I want actual action points on what people can do. For women who are listening, if this conversation upsets you, what you need to do is to vote in the next election, to become a vote bank. And there are almost half as many of us. There should be half as many. There aren't. There are almost half as many of us. If we come out and vote in all of our numbers, we will become a vote bank that politicians will have to tender to. On this show, we focus on urban issues, on the quality of life that we have as tax-paying citizens in our big cities. It's impossible to talk about the quality of life without talking about the appalling state of affairs that women have in our cities, where women do not feel safe. There's a Magicbricks Now poll that's open right now. Do women feel safe in our cities? You can get on to Twitter and vote. I'll tell you what the results of that poll is in a little while, but our panel is still with us and we were in the middle of a heated discussion on whether or not women are safe. Naveen Chomal, and I cut you off before we went into break. Go ahead.
See, one of the important factors for protecting women and preventing the crime is the police machinery should be very efficient and they should be held accountable.
Okay.
I'll give one latest example of a case which I myself am handling. It is a FIR being 608 of 2016 registered with Dindoshi Police Station, Mumbai, where a 17-year-old girl has been molested by her father for a long time and raped. And she's lodged the FIR. And still we are complaining to the senior police officers that police are not even recording the statements of the relevant witnesses. They are not taking on record the various material which she has against the father, and the father is still at large. And police are showing very much or going very slow against the father because he is a very rich man, and we have openly complained that he is bribing the police.
Can you not move higher up in the police department?
Yes, we have already given written applications to the higher echelons of the police officers. We have already done it, and now we are in the process of meeting the police commissioner also in a day or two.
So the advice to anybody who's gone out to file an FIR and is not finding the police helpful is to go higher up in the police machinery and speak to more senior policemen, right up to the commissioner and the DGP if you have to. Karthika is on the phone line from Bangalore as a citizen who wants to share a story. Karthika, go ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm pretty used to traveling alone at night. So I've been doing that for the past 5 years. And then recently, say about 2 months back, I was traveling from Bangalore to Chennai. Okay?
Okay.
And at night, so this is in the middle of the night, say around 2:30, and a man there were not a lot of people on the bus because it was a weekday, and say probably around 20 people altogether in a big bus. So this, I could feel someone, touch me, and
Yes.
all of a sudden I woke up because of that, and he just slithered back into the seat. And turns out it was the bus conductor, and we were sort of in the middle of nowhere, so I didn't create an issue right there, which I think I should have now. But then after, say, around 1 hour, when we were reaching Chennai and we were within the city limits. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Kartika.
Yeah. When we were within the city limits, like I made an issue in the bus. This guy was still there. He was the bus conductor. And then while the people were supportive, like they were not bashing up the guy, but they were speaking against the guy, I requested the bus to be taken to a police station, and then everyone sort of did not agree with me. They were like, you can slap the guy if you want, but you will be ruining his life if you take him to the police station. And I told them that's exactly what I want, because, today it's me, tomorrow it's going to be some other person, and he's going to continue doing the same.
Absolutely. Ranjana Kumari, Kartika, I want to thank you first of all for calling in and sharing your story. And I believe this is the first step. The more we talk about these issues, the more real they become, the closer we are to addressing them. Ranjana, the fact that whenever a woman sort of does not complain about problems like this, problems like groping, problems like eve teasing, we sort of make it okay to reach the stage of rape because we're not speaking up early enough. What should a woman like Kartika have done in a case like that?
Well, she did the right thing to wait till the city limits, because she had to ensure that her own safety is there, and also by and large blaming the victim is our psychology. Every woman when complains, everybody looks at, first thing is the police station, the police looks at her with suspicion that she must be wrong, she must not have worn the right clothes, she may be in the wrong place at the wrong time, all kinds of things. So generally the psychology is to blame the victim. First you victimize her, you do all kinds of things with her, and then you blame her, and then also you tell her that responsibility to protect yourself is yours. So you must learn martial art, you must do everything possible, carry whatever mirch or whatever this, that. So everything is on the women. And the part of the problem is the dominant gender. And gender is not only women, gender is dominant gender men, and that they are the part of the problem in almost all the cases. So what happens? Why are we not able to say that, look, the people who are part of the problem, including police, because police comes from the same social milieu and their attitude is the same. I know the stories of years and years of work with the women at the grassroots and women in Delhi in different bastis, and I can tell you initially whenever we took the cases to Delhi police, they would always say, oh, she must have made mistakes to get beaten up at home if it is a domestic violence case. If it is a rape case, they would always say, oh, certainly she must have done something to invite rape on her. So this is, and politicians have made statements like that. So I think the women should speak out, number one. The other women and organizations should support. The family men, the other men, sensitive men in our society should get up and support. They should speak. Look at Nirbhaya protest where we all were involved in organizing, being in India Gate. So look how many men and boys came for that. So I think that's the time. Now it's time to start recognizing the problem, accepting it, instead of defending it and making all kinds of irrational statement in his studio. The gentleman is making about, I do not know what kind of a data he has gone through, what kind of understanding he has about these issues. He's just making allegations and allegations and allegations without any substantive scientific research or understanding.
Send me the data and statistics. Kumar Jahagirdar, I would be very happy to see your data and statistics.
Please.
I want Vikram Singh.
Give me half a second more. Give me half a second. She asked me my suggestion.
And everybody has to listen to you.
I think,
and it's sort of a gimmick.
You are also
just exaggerating
certain things.
What do you mean?
Please don't listen to society. Listen to your wife. Listen to your mothers. Listen to your daughters. Please don't listen to Ranjana Kumari. I'm not saying that. I'm saying listen to the girls who are going out to work, who are on the street, whose lives are at stake, who are getting brutalized, I challenge you against them. So please listen to them. Don't listen to Ranjana Kumari. I'm not saying you have to listen to me. Absolutely no.
Please,
Kumar,
you should not do that.
I challenge you to find a single woman in this country who has never been teased,
False
roped.
rape allegations are definitely there. That's a different question altogether.
Kumar Jahagirdar, I challenge you to find a single woman in this country who has not been treated badly at some point or the other. The women in this panel, Enaakshi, do you know of a single woman who has not been through a bad experience?
No, every one of us had gone through a bad experience. And I would like to narrate a case where one of the girls I know was basically harassed outside her office. It happened in daytime, where a boy used to keep letters on her car, and she went and she reported to the police. And what the police did, and I'm narrating a case of Bombay, the police came outside her office, they found the man and took the man in her car. He turned out to be a teenager. He was beaten up, he was released, and the next day he was standing at different points where she would pass through. So she was being harassed again. So why wasn't he kept in jail? Why wasn't there a punishment for him?
Unfortunately, this is the truth. This is the truth. And I speak on behalf of women right now when I tell you, and for no other qualification other than the fact that I'm a woman who has lived in every one of the large cities we've talked about. As a journalist, I've lived in Bangalore, I've lived in Hyderabad, I've lived in Bombay, I've lived in Delhi. None of these cities are safe. None of these cities are safe. You step out of the house after 8 o'clock at night, you have to constantly look over your shoulder. You have to constantly ask if you're wearing the right thing. You have to constantly wonder if the auto driver is safe. You have to constantly wonder if the taxi driver is safe. It is a half-life for us in our cities. And we're not even talking about the state of affairs in rural India. It's appalling that we're still debating this, that we're not even acknowledging this problem. That this is how your daughters, your sisters, your mothers have to constantly live. Even if we're 65 years old, we're not safe. Take a look at the poll that's come in on Twitter. 36% of the women have voted saying that yes, they feel safe. 64% say that they do not feel safe in any of our cities. And this is the truth. And we need our governments to take this more seriously. We're out of time here on the urban debate, but the conversation, I promise you, is going to continue because it's personal to each of us. And it is personal to me. This is a personal battle. And I will personally fight it. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.